Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. Welcome back
Good to be
Monday
here.
to our audience on this choppy kind of day. How was your day, Coach?
Welcome, welcome. Pretty good day overall. Pretty good day overall. Did not trade a whole lot. Took a trade last night in the equities. Took a trade this morning in the took a couple trades this morning in the equities. Made a little bit, gave a little bit back, and then locked it up for the day. Pretty good day. How was yours, Coach?
I lost $37 and
Nice.
traded 5 trades. So scratch day. Um, Choppy day in the equities, but Bitcoin saved my day being short.
Wow. I mean, what a short it was. Micro Bitcoin trading 92,000 right now. 92,000s. Well, welcome everyone to At the Buzz, our market recap. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining us. The goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023. Been trading for the past 13 years, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce you.
I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experience, some perhaps wisdom, and help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. I want to thank you each and every day for joining us. Let us know how you did today. Were you up on the day, down on the day? Did you follow your plan? Did you follow somebody else's plan? How did that work out for you? Anything that you learned from the day, let us know in the chat and we'll get right into it. Shout out to Dan Trader, always number one in the chat. Don't know how you do it, Dan, but shout out to you being here. Thanks for it all. Take a look at the news to start. Not a whole lot of news. We know the big news, couple of big things, right? The government shutdown is ending, so some of the economic data, inflation data, jobs data that have been on hold, we're getting them. Sounds like this week we may get an NFP. Looks like NFP is on Thursday. NFP jobless claims on Thursday this week. I think we're kind of going to still say that's tentative for now until we get a confirmation, but it looks like we are going to be getting some of that data. And also Wednesday, make sure you're here. We're going to have a watch party. NVIDIA is reporting their earnings on Wednesday. And as we know, NVIDIA, not one of the heaviest weighted stock in the S&P and the NASDAQ, 15% of the NASDAQ, I believe it is right now. We will be watching that earnings because as NVIDIA goes, the NASDAQ is going to go as well. Anything you got on the news, Coach Paul?
Nothing much other than we're waiting for NVIDIA once again. But no overall big news that I could see.
Got you. So let's get into the charts. Shout out to Doom in the chat, says wisdom indeed. Peter Shap, my friend, what's going on? Up 900 in my live, caught the opening long, down 18 in my XFA from Trader Dog. Passed the combine in green, 200 first day of the XFA. Coach Rob. Natalie says, I started scalping a few points, trading 1 or 2 micros. I find it comfortable. Good. That is where we need to be as traders. Find something that we can repeatedly execute. It may not look like what everybody else does, but if it makes sense to you and you can expect to win over a long period of time from it, do what makes sense to you. Courtney, small green day, learned that the ES224 contract volume profile was the truth today. Good stuff.
There you
Good
go.
stuff, everybody. Let's take a look. Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Coach Rob Nisby passed the combine. Is green for $200 on first day of his XFA. Good job.
Good stuff. Started my XFA, wanted to take it slow, pass another combine. That's Bobby. Up 500 on 2 XFAs today, and these accounts taking it slow. Ian Alderman, good stuff, everybody. Good trading. We know there's some traders are down as well. If you're down on the day, make sure it's managed, right? Losses are going to happen, but it's about our response to losses and how we manage them that we can continue trading from there. All right, let's take a look at the quote board. 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts today to the downside. We have micro Bitcoin down 2.63%, micro Ethereum down 4.12%, and natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 5% on the day. We've been saying it. We are coming into that season where natural gas is going to consistently be in the top 3 percentage movers, either to the upside or the downside. Today it was to the downside. We rejected off that 200 moving average last week on the daily, Coach Paul, and 2 pretty nice down days in natural gas. Was it
It
just short?
tried.
It did
It
try.
tried.
It did in fact try. Um, no close above that 200-day moving average. I don't know who was in here playing around with my indicators, but let's make those lines a little thicker so we can see them. Uh, but nice rejection up there off that 200 and a 5% down day today in natural gas. Today to the upside, we had soybean meal up 2.73%, soybeans up 2.93%, and wheat futures, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 3.37%. We did hear the president over the weekend, actually, I guess it was Friday, talk about food costs and how he was they're too high and moving some of the tariffs on food. I don't know if that affects the ags exactly, but 3.3% move in wheat today. I just pulled up the wheat chart here. We drew this trend line. I don't know how long ago we drew this trend line, but we are getting ready to test it again. So for all of our wheat traders out there, all one of you, um, we are coming up to an interesting spot here in wheat.
Pick a side. Deciding point. Well, one thing we had a big report Friday in the grains, the WASD report, World Agricultural Supply and Demand Equation.
Mm.
That's a big title, but we had it was down big. It was, you can see in the soybeans, and boy, it recovered.
Yeah.
That's a big move in the soybeans. So for you farmers out there sitting on supplies of soybeans, I hope it continues higher.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our big four. We had crude oil down 0.65 today. The S&P down 0.83% today. Gold down 1.23%. Oh, wow. Gold actually sold off. We were short the house account. I don't know if that trade ever got invalidated. I know we took it off because it wasn't giving us what we were looking for. But gold down 1.25%. And the NASDAQ down 0.7% to round out our big four. Let's take a look then at the equity charts. Take a look here at the daily. What are you seeing on the daily here, Coach Paul, in the NASDAQ?
Well, guess what that purple line is?
What is that purple line?
We're not bouncing off of it,
No, we're not.
and the trajectory is still higher, but we haven't crossed the 20 underneath the 50, but this is heavy action. It's losing its momentum. When does Nvidia come out? Thursday?
Nvidia is Thursday.
It
And
could be stalling for new gas there, but if that turns out to be a negative, this could be it could be a bigger move. But what's what's that candle, Coach?
so a couple of things here for any of our new viewers. If you're wondering, the moving averages that I have on my charts, they're all simple moving averages. Normally we go, what is that white line? The white line is going to be the 200 moving average. Purple one is the 50, and the gold one, the yellow one here, is the 20 moving average. We do change time frames. A lot of times we're looking at these on the daily and the 30, but this purple line that Coach Paul's talking about, right where we opened Friday and closed near, and we opened right above it today. That's the first time we've closed under it since this October 10th candle. And that's the one we have framed out here. This was the tariff tantrum candle. We keep bouncing at 50% of it over the past week and a half. We've tested that 50% 3 times, today included. How many times are we going to knock on this level before we trade to the lower extreme? Now, this candle is interesting until it's not. This October 10th daily candle. It almost feels like, Coach Paul, we haven't traded the low of that candle since we printed it. I don't know that the market likes that. Now, I don't know that the market is even going to trade back to it, but the more we knock on this 50% level, the more this looks like a target down here, 24,158.
Chipping away at that support. But one thing, that's a news candle.
Yep.
The tantrum candle. This is different. We're just grinding lower.
Yeah.
We're not finding but we're not finding good responsive buying. It seems like the buying, like even today, it felt like it was pushing against a rock.
Right.
We had some false breakouts to the upside, but as the day went on, we could see it's short-term buyers liquidating. So hardly friendly. It's definitely losing its momentum. And like I said, if we that halfway candle, like you were
Hmm.
talking about, or chipping away, I don't feel it's a healthy market. It's got the DNA of a tired market.
Yeah. Can anyone think of a potential catalyst this week that could maybe sell us off through the rest of this candle? I don't know. Make sure you're here on Wednesday. Uh,
And there's only 6 weeks left to the
in the
year.
year, right?
So you see some profit taking, there's some movement, some adjustments. Um, but we don't know. Trade in the present. But right now, I'm starting to feel kind of bearish.
Yeah.
Oh, because we're under that white line.
Yes, we are taking a look at the 30-minute chart now. Interesting day today. Really interesting day in the markets. Like I said, I took a long in the equities last night. Just pretty aggressive sell initially. We traded below the 50 moving average on the 30-minute, but then we bounced right back up. And if we look, we got some urgency to the upside. And if you're a new viewer and you're wondering what we're talking about as far as urgency goes, this is the overnight session. This is a 30-minute chart here. We mapped out the first 30-minute range and volume VWAP, this red line, was leaving that range fairly early. Right now, Coach Paul, I saw this. I saw the 200 moving average, and I said, okay, that's the target. That looks like where the market wants to go. Took the long, managed the position along the way, and even though I closed it, I kind of thought to myself, am I short arming this trade a little bit because of where I think the target ultimately is? I thought for sure we were going to wake up and the market was going to be at the 200 moving average, or at least a test of it, and we really didn't get there. Volume kind of died out, and the market turned around. And for the New York session open, we were back to where we opened the Globex session. Um, Really two-sided market today, all day. Fast markets was insane. Shout out to Braden and Dakota trying to figure out how to trade that. Um,
Well, it's
ton,
obvious you should have sold it, right?
right. Just sell it.
Yeah, I would have.
Sell it, walk away.
Look, no, it picked up steam, and it was, you know, it's very. That's why I feel it's heavy.
Yeah.
Um, it's not in a natural state for stocks. Stocks like to rally. They're designed to be bought. Um, but I saw the same thing last night. But what happened too? Look at even though it was night volume, it was tiny volume.
Yes, it was.
I mean, there was no, but was there a holiday in China or in Asia last night, yesterday?
I don't know. I don't know. There wasn't any news. We could say
Yeah, it
that.
was.
It's pretty quiet.
uh, So, but when we came into Europe Open, we reversed immediately.
Yeah, it did.
Um, Whatever, and the Europeans did found a way to sell it, and that really never recovered. Um, but coming into this opening, if we put up volume profile from the night session,
And Genius Monkey said it in the chat. Braden lost trying to sell it today. He had the read right, and sometimes that's just. And he said it. He was just like, sometimes that's just how it goes, right? Like, really nothing you can do. He sold it, and when the Nasdaq is swinging 300 points in an hour, even with small
yeah.
size, right? Like sometimes you're just going to take losses unless you have perfect trade location. We sat, pretty wild. But here is Coach Paul again, my new favorite way to look at how the market is coming into the session. What are you seeing here? You talk to us.
Well, the point of control was left way higher.
Hmm.
So when we opened up, okay, One of the things it's usually right around the opening,
Yeah.
and this was much higher. So what can we take out of that? It was overnight movement. We had selling we were near new lows. Did we make new lows? I forgot. It was extended.
Yeah, we did make a new low early, right? If we look at the 1 minute, that first 1 minute candle was just, or first 2 minutes or so, was actually it was the first minute. We pushed lower
It
and
was
then bounced right back up.
it was selling in the hole.
Yep.
What do I mean? Hey, so we look at the point of control overnight, and we were far away from it. It was away from value. Um, that first minute, it looked like it had a chance to break, but understanding that we were that far away from the point of control overnight, just know where it's at. I did sell it on the first minute bar and took small loss. It was a cost. Let me peek and see.
If you were
If
stubborn,
you're playing poker, they don't let you go again without an ante.
right?
So I didn't think it would be that quick of a move to the upside. It was like, wow, I'm glad I missed that beating. Um, but we did have some urgency on the buy side. And where did it stop?
Right at the volume point of control from the overnight session. And again, I got to give a shout out to my guy, Coach Paul, pointing this out. I didn't see this until now, but this rejection up at that high makes a hell of a lot of sense right now for where this rejected right now. What we're looking at is a volume profile from the overnight session. This red line is the developing point of control, which point of control simply is the price where the most volume traded. So when we come in for the New York session, this is a great long to take, right? This is an urgency trade to the upside. Price left the opening range and I'm looking at a 3 minute. Price left early. VWAP said, "Hey, I'm going to," but it stopped almost dead in its tracks at that volume point of control from the overnight session. So, and shout out to you, Coach Paul, for that analysis. I wonder if anyone has adopted that in their trading. And of course, anything we say here is for educational purposes only, not a suggestion to take a trade. Is this going to look the same way every single day? It's not. But what is really interesting is opening up outside of value from the overnight session, running straight up to that point of control and right back down. Two-sided trade today, more than enough opportunity in it. We're talking about 300-point swings. We had a 100. We had something for everybody today. Something for everybody. It was like Halloween. Um, you know, everybody gets a treat with the 100-point range in the middle of for an hour. In the middle of 300-point swings, we had a 100-point range for an hour. Uh, so
It right there, that is dangerous if you're not disciplined. You can lose money.
yep,
Most people, I'd say, most participants, at least day trading, were down at some point today.
yeah,
And that gives testament. 100-point swings in 3 minutes. It's almost like the bid and offers like 100 points.
right.
If you get caught in that whirlwind, you're short, I'm long, I'm short. I mean, you get destroyed. And this is important thing to realize. You could go in there and you could be down a few hundred, $300 thinking, I got to make that up.
Mhm.
But you could easily keep doing that and you're down 800 or 1,000. And now you're down 25% of your account.
Yeah,
You can't allow that to happen. There's other days.
yeah. This was a. I don't know if we've seen the day like this in a little while. Coach Paul was short. Oh yeah, Coach Paul, Genius Monkey was saying, why,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
would you have flipped long? What kept you away from flipping your position? I know you were short initially. What kept you from flipping your position and going
We were
long?
under the 200 moving average on a half hour.
Only looking for shorts.
So if on the 1 minute, it's a good question. On the 1 minute bar, we had some urgency to the sell side. Okay, I sold one micro and was looking to add if it went lower, but I was wary and I was cheap. It was like it was cheap. If it made a new high, I was out, and it did. I think I lost $50 or less. I think it was $37 on a micro. And it did. It made a new low and then immediately got bought up.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm wrong.
I'm out.
Yeah. I'm wrong, but I'm right because I'm right where I manage my risk, right?
Yeah.
And it could be it's a timing and location thing. Again, today was a tough one to trade. And again, like we again going back to what we saw in fast markets, Braden had the right idea. I don't know that I expected an hour consolidation of 100 points after this initial move. We don't normally the market literally hit the brakes, and each one of these 3-minute candles is 80 points. So we see almost 300 points to the upside, another 200 to the downside, and then for an hour, we have overlapping 80-point 3-minute candle.
And let's put the
It's a tough day. Go ahead, Coach
session
Wall.
VWAP,
Yeah. Full session or New York session?
full session.
Full session. Let's see here. There you go.
th- I mean, if we look at how many times this is this is hard for me. The volume was wrong. What I mean is, if you were getting chopped up, you had company.
Right.
It's why because we open below it, we finish high. It looks like we're going to go higher. The VWAP, we go under it, make new lows. We come all the way 3/4 of the way back, and then that is whipsaw trading.
Yeah.
So it's
It was
someone was trying,
loose.
you're talking. He was trying to sell it, and it was like driving on a back road in the country going 80 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah.
It's not comfortable.
No. Shout out to the
Right.
back roads in the country. I was just in Lancaster, South Carolina, where my family lives, picking up a dog, and those are backcountry roads for sure. Uh, backcountry roads for sure. Two-sided trade. We came down. We sold back to 50% of that daily candle and right back up. I heard Andre saying this during Power Hour. This rally into the close. Just watch tonight. Watch tonight's price action. It could be very interesting tonight. Uh, that felt like okay. We have to close. The day is coming to an end. I don't know how much I believe this rally, but it's not for me to believe. It's for me to read the markets tomorrow and see how the markets respond. I think tonight is going to be an interesting slow markets for sure. Anything else you got on the equities, Coach Paul?
Yeah, like trade as the market gives you information. Um, I don't. I'm feeling this is heavy.
Mhm.
I hold that with the ability to take the other side if information structure comes in that tells me different.
Yep.
But overall, I'm kind of bearish.
Same here. We'll take a quick look at the S&P. Very similar story here in the S&P. Really, all I want to do is a couple things. Daily, 50%. This looks even heavier. Another close under that 50-day moving average. 30-minute, still under the 200. Rejecting at that 50% level again. How many times do they knock before you open the door? And then we'll take one more quick look. And we're just running through these because it's very similar to, I think all the equity markets were the same today. Sometimes we see a little bit of a divergence, but I think they were all the same.
What about Rusty's daily? Did we have that cross of the 20 and the 50?
Oh, great point. Great point. Okay, overnight point of control in the S&P, same thing. Nice rejection up there. Let's take a look at the Russell because it might look structurally a little bit different, and it absolutely does. we broke out and we finally closed below. So now,
Oh,
did it cross? Not yet.
yeah.
Not yet. 2 points, 2.5 point difference.
Why don't you tell me to sell Rusty this morning, coach?
Wish I would have told
It's
myself that too.
obvious.
It was so obvious, man.
Yeah, that looks,
Gross.
yeah, a little
So
different than the other. If this is the leader,
and
white line, here we come.
that was gonna be my point there, Coach Paul. If this is the leader or a sign of things to come, the Nasdaq and the S&P are just right here right now.
Yeah,
This is where they are now. Does that mean that they're going to follow? No, we could bounce off of this 50%, but this is where we are in the Nasdaq and the S&P. The Russell is just the weaker of them right now. Why not take a look at the Dow? The Dow October 10th candle is actually a lot lower than everything else, so it's just starting to test it. But another close under that 50 moving average. So interesting stuff going on here. Again, we have the Super Bowl of earnings on Wednesday. We're getting some economic data. And just remember, everybody, some of this economic data we've been sitting on for a month and a half with the government shutdown. This is going to be a very interesting week of trading. I will say that much. Opportunity. Just make sure you are prepared, your account is prepared, and you're mentally prepared, locked into your process, not trying to guess what the market is going to do, but reading what the market is saying it's doing and getting aligned with that, because there's going to be some great opportunity this week for sure. Anything else you got on the equities
that's it.
stuff? JJ says, I never understand what is confirmation. Price always goes against me. Uh, Set a rule for what confirmation looks like for you, JJ. I'll give you a simple rule here. There's a trade that Coach Paul and I, or Coach Paul called, named the J trade. It's a reversal trade. And the setup says we get high volume at the low or high of a move. This is a example of a potential J trade, right? We'll just call this one. Turns out to be a 3-bar reversal. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's forget the 3-bar reversal. Let's forget the J trade. Let's just call it a reversal, right? So we got 1, 2, 3. Confirmation is a candle close. A confirmed reversal is a candle close above this range. So this would be your confirmation here. A lot of times what happens is that traders try to catch this low here, but I haven't really found anything that to a high probability says, hey, the market's selling off completely, but that is exact confirmation of the low. And, you know, yeah, that's a low tick confirmation. For me personally, I have not found anything repeatable to do that. So what that might mean is that this move right here, we're trying to catch the market at this low, is not meant for me. What that could help in is not buying this candle, not buying this candle, not buying this candle, not buying this one, because I'm not trying to figure out where the low is. I'm going to wait for the market to tell me where the low is, wait for it to turn, and then my job is to trade this piece of it, right? So confirmation, and this is just one example of it, could look like a candle close that confirms a reversal. What about you,
Like,
Coach Paul? How do you, anything else you want to add to
well,
confirmation?
let's take an example. What is confirming? Like you said, at
Mhm.
that low, there was no confirmation that the low is, except for you might have a price. I have support here. Okay, now we've tested the price. What confirms that that's the low? Because we always deal with uncertainty.
Yep.
So, there's the old saying, catch a falling knife.
Hmm.
Let the knife land.
Pick it up off the floor.
Pick it up off the floor. How do I confirm that? Two ways. I like a close above it. Some people like a price above the candle of the low. Either way, that's the confirmation. To me, close is a better confirmation, but um, that's the difference. So when I hear that you have to start distinguishing between price level and price action.
Great point.
So that's price action confirmation.
Great
All
point.
right.
And again, we get to see the charts like this in hindsight. And JJ says the hindsight indicator works well in finding lows and highs of the day. Yeah, I mean, how do you
Yes,
know
it
that it's the
does.
low or high of the day? You wait until the end of the day. But unfortunately, I don't have a wayback machine. Time. I'm not a time traveler, so we got to take our chances. But when you for me, when I get away from trying to call the high or low and just let the market turn, that's when I trade the best. And again, like I was saying, you don't get to trade, you don't get to see the markets this way, right? You get to see it like this. So on this confirmation, I can understand hesitation from a trader saying, "Man, I'm so far from where my entry should be." I'm almost saying, forget about ever having this as your entry, because it's not for you. But that's just my suggestion. Let's take a look now at gold. Great question though. I have a crystal ball. My crystal ball says, let me actually, okay, since you called it out, I guess I should take a look at it. Keep it in my desk here. Uh, what it does say is that we'll get to 200 likes by the end of the stream.
Let's get there.
That's what my crystal ball is saying. 768 people watching. If you could do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead doing this each and every day. And thank you all for joining us. Take a look here at gold, Coach Paul. What are we seeing in gold? Let's go to the daily. What are you seeing on the daily?
Wow. I'm starting to lose momentum, but what's the purple line? This is we're still holding above that, but not seeing any buying. And once again, this is the end of the year towards, so you can see pick up some momentum there, but we are holding that VWAP from the breakout. And we're holding the 50 3-bar reversal. Tough trade right now.
Yeah.
This is I'm flashing back to the last time we were caught in a range. This is much. If we go
It's
back,
exactly the same, man. It's exactly the same.
yeah, that's what it looks like to me. And even if we get under the 50, doesn't guarantee we're breaking into 200, but
Yep.
we're on a higher level. But I wouldn't say gold is dead yet.
Not yet. It just may need to consolidate for another 3 months. And again, we saw this, and what Coach Wall is saying is it looks very similar to what we saw in April, right? We talked about this before, but this candle that I have mapped out here, April 22nd, that was the all-time high that led us to a 3-month consolidation. Actually, I think it was longer than 3 months.
It was
130 days, 130-day consolidation in gold before we broke out. This red line here is VWAP attached to that, and that VWAP is now sitting right at the 50-day moving average. The house account was short today in gold. Take a look at that opening range trade. 820. This trade never invalidated. Now, I said it. I know Coach Paul was, Coach Vince was looking down there as well. 39.86 as a potential target for this trade. We got down to almost 4,000 in this. I mean, I don't think we weren't in the trade the entire time. We ended up pulling it because it wasn't really giving us the price action we were looking for. But this opening range trade is still not invalid. This market looks extremely heavy right now. But good opening range trade. 5-minute opening range. Gold opens up at 8:20 a.m. Eastern time, 7:20 Central. The one thing we've added is a confirmation candle of a close outside the range to take the trade, and we got some urgency. I really liked this trade. I ended up saying it on the stream. Hey, I think 39.86 is my target, or 39.68. That was that VWAP from September 2nd. We didn't get down there. Obviously, 4,000 was going to be a major level, and it wasn't going to sell through easy, and we didn't even get down there to 4,000. But it's a really nice short trade in gold. Personally, I'm leaning and looking for opportunities to sell down to 39.68. Once we get there, then I'll reassess. That does not mean it's a blind short. Still got to have a setup, but we are also under that 200 moving average on the 30-minute, Coach Paul.
Yeah, and it wasn't. We're under, like I said, we're under the white line and low volume compared to a couple weeks ago. So there's no new energy in there. In other words, no new buyers. We need some energy to drive it higher. And then we look at that average volume after from last week on I'm looking at the daily here,
Okay.
but
Uh,
it's we need new buyers.
yeah,
We're not getting it. And we're under the 200. Yeah, that's what it's like. Today's volume was less than average, and it's been that way for at least a week. I don't think that's friendly to the rally, but that can also be just profit taking.
absolutely.
So just and a review, I'm really probably not going to trade gold tomorrow. I just don't see it for what I look for. But
ACH. Still some decent range to trade. It's just not going anywhere, right? So with that being said, if you're up at these highs, could it break out higher? It could, but just look at what this chart is doing on a higher time frame. And anytime I look for a breakout trade in gold, and I want to, just refresh my memory of what happened earlier this year, 130 days of consolidation, 95 trading days. So let's keep that in mind. And it could break
that's
out, but let it prove that it's breaking out. Let it confirm that it's breaking out, and then take that trade in that direction.
Did you
Uh,
say 95 trading days?
95 trading days,
There's only
50
250
in a year.
a year, so half the year.
Yeah, half the year we were in that range in gold. That is 95 daily candles. We sat in that range, so it could do it again. Like Coach Paul said, coming down to the end of the year, we already saw some of this blow off top volume. We could be talking about these same exact prices going into 2026 in gold. There was a question here in the chat. Would you consider the 15-minute opening range? You could. You really could use any time that you want. I'll tell you from just the way we look at the opening range trades, because we kind of define them as low probability. We try to remove the risk by taking a lower trade, right? Because the risk is going to go on the other side of the opening range. Now, if I use a 15-minute, let's just look at this, for example. 15-minute opening range. So the 5-minute, right? We went with the 5-minute this morning. It's 5 points. If I went with the 15, it would be a 7-point range. This trade just costs more. Now, going with 15 minutes could improve the win rate of the trade. Now, and those are stats that you would just have to look at. Whatever you do, keep it consistent. But either way, whether I use a 5 or a 15-minute, I like the idea of waiting for a candle to close outside that range, or at least volume to leave that range, right? And in both of these cases, we saw volume leaving the range. In this case, after the first 15 minutes, volume started leaving the range. That just gives me, not just on a price basis, but a volume confirmation that the market is no longer trading in this range here. Anything you would add to that, Coach Paul?
No, you said it perfectly.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Let's
So
take a look.
sure, yeah. One
Yeah.
last thing to reiterate: the longer your time frame, the bigger the average true range or risk.
Right. Absolutely. We've been talking about silver a little bit. Let's take a quick look. Kind of similar to gold, maybe a little bit stronger. We have seen silver make new all-time highs last week when gold did not. Thursday, silver made a new all-time high, but very similar. All the metals looking pretty similar here. Anything else you got on the metals?
No, the silver actually looks a little stronger than gold, but other than that, I have nothing to add.
Good stuff. Let's take a look then at crude oil. This is the first time I'm looking at the crude oil chart since the opening call. What are we seeing here in crude on the daily, Coach Paul?
There's nothing to see or move along. Feel like a cop on the beat. Move along.
Yeah. I mean,
Nothing
seriously
to
though.
see.
Look
Well,
at
let's. I mean, seriously, it's going sideways. And not even in a hurry.
Also in rollover.
Look at these ranges. What is the average true range now?
Uh, dollar
120?
57, $1.57.
Yeah, it's cheap. Now, with that, it has the possibility of getting cheaper. Um, not with nothing much. Let's look at the half hour. We'll see. Oh, geez, it's even worse. Okay.
This is terrible.
I surrender. I throw
Yeah,
my
this is
hands
this is
up.
bad. This is bad. If you're a range trader, it's not bad. But even then, you if you're looking for a $2 move in crude, it's literally not happening.
Let's look at the volume profile, see if it even moved.
Yeah, this is a range of all ranges. And again, if you are a range trader, and I want to make this very clear, I will not place a trade in crude oil probably for the rest of the year if it continues. For me
I'm
personally,
writing that down.
I said probably. I threw some caveats in there. If it continues to look like this, I will probably not trade crude oil. If it changes and we start to get some trends, then maybe I will trade it. But with that being said, I know and I want to be very conscious of the fact that there is a trader out there that sees this market and this is the opportunity for you to make all your money in the year, right? Where you identify a range and you just everyone else is like, "Oh man, it's not moving, it's not doing anything." And you say, "Well, it doesn't have to do anything. I'm going to buy it at this low, I'm going to sell it at this high, and I'm going to rinse and repeat." If you're that trader and you're listening right now and you hear us say, "Oh man, this market's disgusting." Guess what? It only has to make sense to you. You can find that way to make money out of this trade in crude oil, by all means do it because it is in a very defined range. I just look at this and get sick. Uh, but Coach Paul wrote that down. Now I just got to block the symbol. I'm just not. I'm just not gonna trade it.
Well, maybe the Jan crude will look different
Right.
now, but you know, one thing we can take away from it, it's a very balanced market. Balanced markets are the ones that some larger traders look at to see how they can leverage a move out of that. Um, but we're our day traders. That's why when I look at this, there's not much range to be wrong or right. Um, so just I don't see much opportunity. But natural gas, that's another story.
Yes, it is, and we will take a look at that. Iman says, "I need help finding the range and knowing when to buy or sell. Start on a higher time frame, especially in a range bound market. And all you really want to do, keep it very simple. Identify areas where the market has rejected before. So if I look at crude oil, just almost draw a line and see how many times we rejected right around 60-50. Is it going to be perfect? It's not. And that's why we manage risk, right? If I say, "Oh yeah, I identified the range. Now this is the easiest trade of my life. I'm going to sell with my life savings at 60-50 and buy it back and double my life savings when we get down to 59." Can't trade like that, right? But
No,
I mean, you can. I've tried it. Let me be the first to tell you that shit don't work. Um, but, but you can
not
try
for
it.
long at least. It
You can
might
try it.
work for a fraction of time.
Right, but that is seriously not financial advice, right? I would not suggest anybody try and do that. But we've identified an area where the market has responded before, so now I can assume some risk. Now that risk has to be measured where if I'm wrong here, and I'm going to be wrong a lot, if I'm wrong, it's not going to cost me a whole lot, but that's the way I would do it. Start with the daily and go from there. But let's take a look at natural gas, Coach Paul. What are we seeing here? Because go ahead. I'll give it to you.
Well, daily Friday we hit the 200 moving average, and we've been below it for like half the year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yep.
and we've had a decent rally. But we can't get above it. We've touched it once, twice, almost three times, all last week. So it's vulnerable to turn around. Um, and it looks like it could go back to 20, but it rejected hard, especially as the day wore on.
Yeah, it
It
did.
became obvious there were no the buyers weren't there, and I started looking at that. We had to start getting liquidation. Um, so let's look at the daily. I mean, the 30.
Here is that 30, that 200 moving average. What is that white line? We are on the 30-minute chart here. That 200 moving average is the white line here, and it's been a support. It's been supportive on this entire way up. But if we look at today, and this is why you got to trade the market that's in front of you, one of the things that we've been talking about. Okay, can we try to quiz the chat? I want to say why, but what has changed in what we look at during at the buzzer? What changed today that we didn't see on this rally up? That a confusing question, Coach Paul? Do you know the answer I'm talking about?
What was different
What was
today
different
since
today
this
that we haven't seen this entire rally up?
it has to do with the red line?
It does.
Bueller,
See,
Bueller.
well, Genius Monkey said volume left the range, but volume did something specific today that we haven't seen.
Supports turn into resistance. Yeah, it's
Yep.
half there.
There we go. Van Johnson got it. Volume
WDMS.
volume is now because what we've been seeing before, and we've been talking about this 200 moving average, right? This white line here being a decent spot to look for opportunities to get in long here. Today's the first day where pretty much the entire session, first day in a while, that pretty much the entire session, VWAP stayed below that 200 moving average on 30-minute, right? On this entire rally up, what we've been seeing the market open up above the 200 moving average, but then we get tests below it and no volume trading below it. So what happens? The market pops back up. But the entire session today at VWAP, that red line was under that 200 moving average, a little bit of a turn here. So, why am I saying that? We've been saying that 200 moving average is an interesting spot to look for opportunity. We saw it last week. Is it just a blind buy off this level? It could be, but your risk has to be managed, just like with any trade. But we also seen that there are times where the market is going to turn directions. In this case, off that daily 200 moving average, we saw a pretty nice turn, and then no volume back above that 200 moving average. This is now, a market that's turning here. What are you seeing here on the 30-minute, Coach Paul?
Well, I actually bought it above the 200.
Nice.
And risk was $150. And man, it was a great trade.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously, a great trade.
I was looking to buy it. Now, I also was concerned about I was watching the VWAP.
Mm.
There was a VWAP from the opening, and I would put the opening at 7 Central.
So 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
Okay.
and attach a VWAP to that. Because why that time? That's when the volume
Got you.
comes in.
Okay.
It's the opening.
Oh yeah.
Now,
That looks like a great buy. It looks like a
and
great long.
now, my feeling was I wanted to take the buy. We closed above it. I bought near the highs. It was a great loss. Love that loser.
Yep.
It's $150. It was a price discovery. My point was, if it continues, this I could get 2 to 3 to 1.
Right.
It doesn't. I put in my ante and I'm out. And man, I was out. I didn't reverse because I was looking for the buy side.
Right.
But now we're spent also the most time under the 200 in weeks.
Right.
So it's serious. There's no, in other words, serious. There's no buying underneath this market, and now we're starting to get short-term liquidation. Very heavy.
Nice out.
Two things combined: under the 200 moving average on the daily, And we've tested the 30-minute many times, couldn't get volume over it. So,
Great out on that
well,
trade. And Coach Paul, I love the fact that you shared that you bought it, because sometimes it can feel like we cherry pick trade examples here, and we're like, oh yeah, you just do this, and then you win. Um, but we get to see the whole picture here, right? In real time, we have to trade with the pieces of the puzzle that we get, and that's why you manage your risk. If Coach Paul holds on to this trade and says, "Nope, natural gas has been along for the past 3 weeks. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna make money. It's that easy." That's a completely different trading day. But paying $150 for some information to see whether or not the market agrees with you is measured risk, and we need to take a lot more of those.
maybe I should start a Twitter account, my best losses. And people might laugh at it,
I,
but Best
I'm
Loser
not laughing
Wins
at
is
I'm
the
not
book
laughing
I
at
would
all.
have the best book title was the book I was never going to write. Um, really, it's an attitude of, "Hey, I lost really well today," because there's shame in it. People don't wanna talk about losing. We're brought up in societies, and I've worked with traders from every continent in 100 different cultures, everywhere except for Antarctica, and it's the human condition. It's don't be wrong. You know, in school, oh, the shame, like here, this is the complete opposite. It's
Complete
pure
opposite.
truth.
Complete opposite.
Lose well. That's how you survive. And let your winners ride. And we all hear that, but how do you execute it?
Yep.
Not easy. But the first part of accepting that and doing it is, first of all, predefine your risk. Look for your structure, predefine your risk, completely accept that, or don't take the trade. Because if you don't accept it, you won't put a stop in, or you'll move your stop, or you'll cancel if close, which when I was a broker on the floor, that was a common one. Cancel if close. We'd have a cluster of stops, and
Oh
we'd be
yeah.
getting close there, and we get these orders. Cancel, cancel.
Cancel
I
my
might
stop
get
if it gets
filled.
close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It might get filled, and I'll be stopped out. I'll take a loss. By the way, we laugh. Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. The fact that that's an order type is crazy.
Well, no, we made it up.
Oh,
Cancel
okay,
if
okay.
close. So we call it. I have to use a polite. Cancel. The official term was cancel replace.
Cancel
So you
replace.
cancel an order. Let's say I have a stop at 10.
Okay.
It's trading 13. Well, I better cancel that stop and move it down to 08, or else I'll lose
Oh
money.
yeah, right. Like, wait, did I say tens? No, no, no. I'll let you
Yeah,
know. I'll let you know when I want to put this stuff.
but the official term was cancel replace,
Okay.
CR. We used to write it on the orders like, because now you had to go find the order, can't exit out, and then put in a new price, and then put it in the deck. It's all done automatically now. But
Yeah.
if you could see, people still do it. I mean, it's a
Human nature.
natural reaction.
Yeah.
I,
Papa Giorgio in the chat says CNR knows what you're talking about. Dan Emmons here. Cancel if close sometimes works for profit targets though to get runners. That's completely different, right? If I'm winning,
well, that would be moving up a stop.
right, right. That's a different
That's
story.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I'm losing, it's just like, oh,
and it was such a human reaction. I've done it. I
same.
see people do it. Like that goes back, and I don't take these principles are from Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. No, I would say as I get older, probably the best pure trading book if you want to learn how to trade. Not It doesn't give you systems. It's it's it gives you a system for regulating yourself.
Yep.
No, those principles define your edge, then predefine the risk. And this is why I go back to cancel if close.
Mm.
It's the next principle. Accept it or don't take the trade. If you're moving your stop because it's about to get stopped and you're going to lose money, you really haven't accepted it. So I like some of the best trades I do now, and I'm doing more of it. Is okay, wait, wait, wait. Structure. Here's the trade I'm willing to take.
Mhm.
How much does it cost? What's the profit? Put the order in, and then that's a beauty of Project X.
Yeah.
You can have that automatically done, and then walk away.
Yep.
Or to me, I trade a few different. I won't even look at it. If I hear a ding, did I get stopped or did I hit the profit target? That's when you. That's a way to get away from changing your mind because you might have a loser because you really never accepted it. All right, I went off the
No,
path.
great point. And you got another question here from Papa Giorgio. Did you work not held often?
Uh, yeah, I didn't get many of those.
Okay. I don't even know what that is.
And not held is you do have discretion, or I'll give you a stop.
Okay.
Coach Jay, if it gets down to 95, or you give it to me, if it gets down to 95, get me out. I'm not held. So actually, you've been on the floor, and this is actually something to learn as a trader. That means the difference here is it's on an order. If you don't get filled,
Okay.
you no one's held accountable.
Huh.
You write up. Then you had 2 minutes in a fast market.
Okay.
You had to have a price filled within that 2 minutes.
Okay.
If it was out, you'd be held to a price within that range. So let's say you got really busy and you forgot about this order and someone gave you a not held order.
Hmm.
Sorry, but I'm not held to anything. Do you want to get out now? Here,
Oh wow.
it's not even a question.
Yeah, you
There's
can't do that
no,
now. You just put your orders in the system, but
yeah.
interesting stuff. You don't get that other places. Only here at TopstepTV, TV, where real life floor experience transition to trading to the desk and absolutely killing it doing it. Can we look at the gold chart? We looked at gold. Kind of. One thing I do want to talk about in gold, I'm mapping out this 30-minute candle here. If you want to look at gold, rewind like 15 minutes. 15 minutes. We looked at gold. This 30-minute candle. Why am I mapping this one out? The highest volume 30-minute candle of the day. I want to see the market's response to this when we open up and trade for the rest of the day. Let's take a look. Got to at digital gold, micro Bitcoin. What is
Okay,
happening here?
before we get to that, I
Yeah.
got it. High five, Mariah. I
Mhm.
only use market orders. Awesome. If I want out, you've heard me say this before,
Yep.
especially in the micro Nasdaq, it's a quarter of a cent. It's a quarter of $2, so it's 50 cents. Like, hit the bid, take the offer.
Right.
Uh,
Just get me in the
But
trade.
how to use limit orders? Well, you click on a price. If you can bring up a DOM, click on a price. It's limited to get filled. It has to go through that price. It's limited to that price only.
This is my
And
dom.
because you press the thumbs up, we can answer this.
Yep.
But so market, if you're trading NASDAQ, and for most markets that are liquid, like the top four that we look at, yeah. I mean, it's just, to me, I use market orders 90% of the time. Well, less, I should say less than that. If I'm coming, here's the distinguishing feature. If I want in on a market, I'm going to the market. I'm using a market order. If it has an edge,
You could pay a couple
and
ticks.
I mean, have you ever done this? Work the bid all the way up to get filled?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then you don't get filled. Now you're chasing a
Yeah,
trade. And
but we
by the
don't
time you
measure
get filled,
that.
it's going back the other way.
Yeah. And you don't measure that, right? Because you missed it. You don't
Right.
see that on any of your statements. You don't see it on any of your
Great
performance.
point.
But if you could, it's a big deal
Yep.
to me.
How many ticks am I losing
Um,
trying to be perfect on the entry? What I normally do, and it's just I'm a creature of habit. I hit the join bid or join ask, which puts you on the limit, and then I'll drag the order to be a market order or close to it, and then get filled that way. Uh, but I just hit the market button probably. I just I actually tried to make the switch and hit the market button. I just keep going back um, to join bid, join ask, and then dragging the order. I think it kind of slows me down actually, which personally I needed. But let's take a look at this micro Bitcoin. How can I use this order flow? What you were looking at there is actually pretty bare bones because it's not even showing level two data. This is just a depth of market for a bunch of different markets. Right now, because I don't have level two data on this platform, you're only seeing one order up and one order down. And then to the right side, which you could use on here, is the volume profile. This is very similar to the volume profile we draw on the charts. But I actually have a class that I did that explains this. I'll find the link to that and put that in the chat. Um, Reading that depth of market. But talking about depths, where are the depths of the bottom in Bitcoin? Where is this going, Coach Paul? What are they doing to this market?
they're liquidating.
20s
Now we
under
have
the
to
200.
Yep, but well, let's look at okay, let's look at price levels. We
Mhm.
finished under the 100,000 at a big psychological level. And we did that a while ago.
Yeah.
But I think that was Wednesday, last Thursday or Wednesday. All right, and it's finding momentum. We're getting people chasing to get out. Like we're lower on the year.
Yep.
I could go into a long thing about it doesn't really matter from an investor's point of view unless you have a tax burden. But
Great point.
but it does matter in the perspective of the public. It's
Yep.
under 100,000, but it is this since the beginning of the year we're lower.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it starts all big breaks start slow, and then suddenly.
Yeah.
But today we've been under. Today we just it was not easy. It gapped lower. Um, let's look at but before we do that. Let's look at is there any level to the left of the screen that you can see?
Mm, there's this gap here
And that got filled a while ago.
that got filled a while ago. There's 85 550.
That could be the place because I don't see anything here on levels. Now we could do a fib on a daily, but on a retracement, is this 50% of the tracement of those lows?
Let's see.
Well, we
Yep.
could
We go to that low. August
right,
24th
the
low.
most recent low of
Most recent.
significance.
Go that one. And that's why I picked that
That's
85
the target
550.
to me.
Yeah, that's the target. So this candle, and this is, futures. So, but this candle here is the highest volume candle we've had, one of the highest volume candles we had all year. Yeah, one of the highest volume candles we had, if not, yeah, one of the highest.
Yeah, it's
Since we closed
big, Bob.
above it, I remember actually you talking about this as a J trade, and we're coming
Yeah,
back to revisit that area. So below that, got to go to the next one, which is 68,000, 69,000. Yeah, I saw some people in the chat talking about this. It doesn't look great, I'll say that much. But there is another chart, and I don't know if we want to pull out the dollar dollar Bitcoin chart. that the one you were talking about, Coach Paul?
No, but let's bring it up.
All right. So Bitcoin, give me 1 second. And this is not day trading anymore. We're kind of just, we're actually up at time. So thank you for joining us. We're at the buzzer. We're going to bring up
We'll
some,
go over tomorrow, hit the like button, and we'll do that.
no. I'll bring it up now. I was just
Uh,
saying this is not going to be day trading talk anymore. We're just going to look at an interesting chart here. Uh, so if anyone wanted to leave before we get into tinfoil hat talk, uh, here's your time. But hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. It's not
can
really even
you
tinfoil hat. This is kind of what Bitcoiners are looking at.
uh, uh,
Dollars priced
someone
in
want to
Bitcoin.
know what a gap? Explain what the gap was. We could do that after this.
Okay. But this is the US dollar priced in Bitcoin, right? And for Bitcoin investors, this is all they're looking at, right? They're not looking at the price of Bitcoin really, especially the buy and hold. Hey, I'm just going to buy it forever. Uh, this is kind of what they're looking at here. So if you ask them, does this sell off matter? Probably not. Because they're not looking at Bitcoin as a trade, but more so as a store of value, similar to gold. So if the dollar is continuing to be weaker against Bitcoin, that is what they're looking at there. Let's go back to what were we talking about? Fill in the gap.
Yeah, someone wanted to explain what a gap is. Real simple.
Uh, yeah, go ahead, Coach Wall.
Go ahead. I don't. You
Oh
have
yeah,
the thing.
real simple. Let's look at a gap.
There's one right there to the left. Oh
Natural
no,
gas.
it's not. Yeah.
Natural gas. Here's a gap. Basically, it's untraded price. Now, a lot of times people think if price did not trade here, market has to, that in quotations, has to come back and fill that gap. Never does. It's just where price did not trade. This is natural gas. Here was a Friday night close, right? So here's the Friday session close. Sunday, we're opening up here. In that, we didn't trade anything because the perception of value of this market increased over the weekend. So when people come back in to trade it, any orders that might have been placed in this gap here may have been canceled and then moved up, right? So there you go. That is a gap. Ryan says, thanks for this, coaches. First time on the stream today because of the Arena Cup. We'll be tuning in from here on out. I want to learn from the guy on the right. That guy over there. Man, no, the other right.
Ah, my other right.
No,
No.
my right. My right. Right of the screen. Ryan, you are in a great place to do that. Shout out to Coach Paul, partner in doing this segment for 2.5 years now, almost 3 years. And I learn something every day, if not every week. You're in a great place. Appreciate you being here. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. My crystal ball was wrong. I think I need to change the batteries. It said 200 likes. I haven't used it in a while. It's been in this desk collecting dust. We're at 150, but we appreciate you all being here as always. Coach Paul, anything you got before we go?
Yes. Well, thanks for that shout out. But we're here to help. And I learned from Coach Jay. We learn from all our coaches have different perspectives. The idea is to be open and learn. As biggest point here at Topstep is to learn how to trade. And to learn how to trade, you have to fail. But fail well, struggle well. And any trader with their salt has struggled. I had the opportunity on the trading floor to have some of the best traders give me advice. So I'm here to share that advice, and that's how we all work together and collaborate. And I also want to give a shout out to the guy on my other right and my left. I learned a lot from him on volume. It really, really enhanced my trading. So we're a community of learners, and you're never going to hear us say this has to happen or you should have done that, or because that's not what traders do. We
Right.
deal with uncertainty all the time. We have to figure out our way through the uncertainty. And that's how we learn. With that, plan your trade and trade your plan.
Awesome stuff. Uh, Real quick, there's a question from Iman. Is there any trading sessions I can join? So if you're new to Topstep, I'll just run through our schedule and let you know now we're pretty close to 24/7. So you can pick what you want to join here. But after this, we have Coach Hoop doing a class in Discord that starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we have Coach Ray and Coach Vince, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern times. Dakota back on slow markets tonight. That is 8:30 Eastern. I will be joining him for slow markets. That's on YouTube. And we have Aaron with the London Open 2:30 a.m. Eastern, D with the Euro trade, 4:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then we're back for the opening call tomorrow at 8:15 Eastern time on YouTube. Pretty close to 24/7. Again, a bunch of content with the interest of helping you become a better trader. Uh, don't like that? Hit the thumbs up button anyway. Um, Coach Paul, real quick, somebody brought this up. I know we're running out of time, but the Japanese yen lows of the year.
Oh, I didn't watch them today.
Yeah,
Um,
new low on the year.
well, what's oh wow, yeah, nice call. Someone, yeah, there we go. We got someone's watching it. I was busy with some other things.
Yeah,
Didn't hit it in my rotation. Are those low? Those are lows of the year. Well, I hope you profited from that.
it's-
But let's thank you for the heads up. I'll be
yeah.
keeping an eye on it now.
Nice shout out there. All right. I
Oh,
think that's it. I think that's it. We did it. Thank you all for joining. Going to be a great week of trading. Remember, be patient in your opportunities. The market will present an opportunity. You just got to be in the right space to execute on that opportunity, and then go do something fun off the charts to kind of get a little bit of a reset. Again, thank you all for joining each and every day that you do. If you're your first time here, welcome to At the Buzzer. I'm Coach Jay. That's Coach Paul. And we will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.
bye.
Bye.